What's going on, guys? BladeZilla here, and today we're taking a look at this gorgeous knife, a newly released model for ProTech, in this configuration anyway. It's the TR-3 Integrity manual button lock. So much like the Mordaxes, much like the Malibus, we've got, instead of a flipper tab, we've got a thumb stud, and we've got a button lock, instead of it being an automatic, like on the TR-3. Proper. So pretty cool knife to take a look at today. Figured I would throw a quick video together here. I just finished taking some pictures of it and uploading a description onto the site, and I got a stack of these to go out the door, so figured I'd grab one and just talk about it, show you it, and do a quick video on it more than anything, show kind of what's happening. So as a reminder, visit the site bladezilla.ca in Canada with this gorgeous knife, and actually that is this knife right there. Which is pretty cool. Anyway, BladeZilla.ca, lots of cool stuff. ProTech, CKF, Shirogorov, Microtech, all kinds of really good stuff. Some Koenigs up there, some Shiro tools. Oh man, there's a lot of Oldenovs. There's so much on here. Some McNeese right now. Really good stuff. So figure, shout out the site, BladeZilla.ca, where we can get any of that stuff over to you in Canada. And, it's in Canada, shipping from Canada. So we also ship down to the U.S. if people want. I know it's a common question. So anyway, let's get started on this. We're not talking about the site. We're talking about this gorgeous knife, and it's in its glory. So where do we even start? Other than I've got some fingerprints on this one because I've been just sweating, getting it with excitement on this. Actually, I think the ProTechs come with like a factory scrub on the blade of like Windex or something. And that's what that is more than anything. But anyway, let's get on it. So I believe this guy's an S35VN, which is written on this side here. And typically on what is it, Malibus and the Mordaxes? I can't recall if the Mordax has it on the same spot. But the Malibu actually writes it kind of on the spine. But S35VN, which doesn't sound like anything cool, it'd be really sick if they launched this with MagnaCut. But given the price point, it is their entry-level version of the knife, so I imagine as they kind of run along with this, they're going to probably introduce different blade configurations. Nice stonewash, kind of flat grind, nothing too fancy, kind of beautiful little bevel on that blade, and then the ProTech writing on top there looks really, really good. Really consistent grind on there as well. Looks to be machine ground, I would assume, made in the US, so it looks nicely done. No complaints. They call it the TR-3 Integrity manual. So anytime they use the word integrity, you kind of think integral. But the first thing that when I saw the description of this a few weeks back, it was like integrity, and I thought Integrity Farms from South Park. So I don't know if people are going to call this the Integrity knife or not, but it was so fitting. But I guess like anything, it kind of gives you the vibe of it being an integral knife without it actually being. So it kind of looks pretty cool that way, just closed off like that. Very Mordaxy, very Malibu-y. They just look cool. Very ProTech-y. Button is comfortable. I have heard some people talk about, not this knife, but some of the other knives having some stiction or so on the button lock. But remember that's moving in and out, and over time those buttons actually become a little bit smoother. Just keep that in mind because it is a metal-on-metal wearing rub part, so something to think about. In terms of the knife itself, sorry, my phone's just going nuts. It's muted. In terms of the knife itself having thumb stud versus a flipper, you know, it's a little weird to me because all of the Malibus and Mordaxes that I've had, they've all been flippers. And that's kind of been the reason that ProTech's kind of gone the manual route, is there have been flippers. So this is kind of my first ProTech with thumb studs. It's kind of a different feel to it, but it's the same action, like feels identical, super easy to get in and out. The thumb stud itself is ambidextrous. You've got it on both sides. So could you kind of reverse flick it? Maybe. I'm not going to be that guy because I'll probably end up cutting myself and hurting the camera lens by trying. But the stud itself, nice rounded, kind of volcano-y kind of vibe to it. Nice and comfortable. Hopefully you can see that. Fits your finger well, and it's got a little patterning, like it's been turned on a bevel, which is kind of sweet. I don't think you can remove them, but you never know. Never know. Let's go back on this side here. Pocket clip, quite comfortable and very standard for ProTech. It's pretty deep, and I'm just going to close this so I don't have that blade out, so I can show you the clip a little better. But fairly deep carry, actually. If you look at it, you're only having about that much of the knife sticking out of your jeans. And whose channel was I watching? There's a few now that they bring a little jeans pocket on and they tuck it in. So if that's something you want to see, I can certainly do that. But I don't have jeans today, so I'm sorry. But a nice clip nonetheless. Very, very usable. It looks like it's got T8s kind of scattered throughout, both underneath the, actually those might be T6s, underneath the clip there. Not internally attached, external, which is cool. So if you did want to remove it, I'm sure you could. I'm kind of confused. This is going to sound silly, why they wouldn't give you the option of mounting it on both sides, because it is a thumb stud model. So you'd think they would want to kind of make it a little more of an ambidextrous type situation. And it wouldn't cost much to kind of drill another two on this side and then be able to flip that around, just because, like I said, you're going to be able to flick it one way or the other with those thumb studs. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't go that route, but oh well. I guess you'd have to, in theory, move the button over, but I'm just thinking from a carry perspective, you know, if you can flick it out, and you'd figure out a way to push that button. If you're left-handed, it's really not that big of a deal. The blade length as well, I was kind of surprised. This is quite good tolerance-wise for a ProTech. Like, that's a long blade fitting inside there. So, they've done their homework. Dead center, obviously, which is nice. Just a nice overall kind of design on that blade. And we do have a little spot here to attach, a lanyard if you want to. I've always kind of been of the mindset, like, I don't really like when we have like lanyard holes like this kind of split with a seam. I'm really not a fan of that. It always kind of freaks me out, like if it gets caught on something, you risk separating the knife. But a lot of the ProTech designs are done that way. It's not a big deal, and I've had zero issues from people, customers who have bought it. But at the same time, I just look at that as like, well, there's an inherent weakness in that design, and I don't know if that's ever been a problem. I'm sure if you go on Reddit, I'm sure you can find some people discussing that. But anyway, in terms of fit in hand, it's a very comfortable knife. Like, it's actually a very, very comfortable knife. And I'm an XL glove, fits my hand perfectly. It's a medium plus on this guy. It's a natural fit. It's got a nice natural resting point on top of the blade, nice and flat. No jimping, quite comfortable, but I find most people are going to probably rest their finger inside here, just because it's kind of built for it. It's kind of got a nice little concave vibe to it, so it's really comfortable there. But if you wanted to move your hand down the blade, you certainly could without any issues. Other than that, it's black and it's simple. There's not much going on to it. I wish it, much like the Malibus, much like the Mordaxes, on the entry level, they just do this nice aluminum frame with very little kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Texturing and milling to it. And then as they offer it in different configurations, maybe they do a dragon scale, maybe they do a Nexus pattern. Who knows what they're going to be doing down the road, and different blade configurations. It's just a natural fit. If we look at the TR-3 line currently, there's all kinds of combinations, and I don't know why they wouldn't continue that in the manual, the button lock. Now, the question that I keep bringing up to myself here is, I'm curious if ProTech is going down the route of, taking some of their current designs and turning them into a manual, what else would you want to see? And my first pick, I think, was it called the Oligarch? Oligarch? The Sinkovich design that was just recently launched. I was drooling over that knife when it first came out, and I was just begging for it to be manual. And it's not. So please, ProTech, if you're watching this, if you're listening to me, I don't know how many people actually listen to this or watch these, but I would love that knife in a manual button lock. That would be so cool. Just because I love Sinkovich designs overall. And if you know me, I love that guy. He does such a good job on his customs. So, anyway, what else? I should probably get some blade measurements. Probably 10 minutes into the video and don't even have that. being a new design. I thought it was around 3.5 inches. It certainly looks 3.5 inches, but let's find my tape measure here. And we'll get some measurements here. Blade of, yeah, well, let's go there. Yeah, 3.5 to the center of the choil, probably 3 3/8 ground. Handle of 4.5 inches, and overall length of just around 8 inches. 8 inches, it's a good length. That's what she said. In terms of comparables, well, I've got my TR-2 here. And let's see if I can get that. Just to show size, it's kind of sticking up, kind of funny. But there's your, everybody knows the size on these. And then I'll grab my Sebenzas in large and small. There's a small. And where's my Thunderbird? S31 and S30. Sorry, this is S45. There's your large Sebenza. And I'd put it, it's very large Sebenza-y. Obviously the Sebenza's just a hair longer. But in terms of just kind of the carry size, I'd say this guy's a little fatter. But the handles of these feel thicker and heavier. So it's a pretty good comparison there, I'd say. And what else? We've got to get a weight on it. We've got to get a weight on this guy. It doesn't feel very heavy at all. And being aluminum, that is kind of expected. But let's get that. Any guesses? Any guesses? Let's see. There we go. Survey says 4 ounces. Yeah. 4.1 ounces. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. And I didn't really look inside if there was any skeletonization. I'm assuming at this price point there's nothing. But if there was, that would be very impressive. Yeah, just nice 2 thick, durable slabs of aluminum. Sometimes less is more, right? Keep it simple, stupid. And I guess I didn't even comment on this. You've kind of got some cutting on the back of the handles there too for grip. It's a nice little touch, especially if you want to reverse carry it. It's a nice touch. Very in tune with the rest of the design. And then your palm will actually kind of benefit from the same thing when you carry it normal. Very nice knife. I'm assuming these are going to be popular just because anything people launch, anytime ProTech launches something new, people, they want to try it out. And it's at a price point where you can try it out and use it, abuse it, and love it, hate it, whatever. Personally, I would have loved to see MagnaCut on this right out of the gate in this configuration, just to kind of set that standard, but beggars can't be choosers, and S35 yen is certainly an excellent steel, considering, well, let's be honest, it was on a lot of the CRK stuff for years and years and years, and people loved it there, so yeah. Alright guys, well I'm going to kind of cut things off there. I don't have a whole lot to talk about this one. I just wanted to film it before I kind of started another project here. Actually, I've got a couple new knives here, so I just wanted to get a quick video together and show the knife and see what you guys think. And as always, build a little bit of a collection on the channel of some knives that are pretty cool, and it'd be awesome to have every knife with its own video on the channel, on the site, but you never know. So anyway, that is the ProTech TR-3 Integrity button, which is button lock or manual, and S35 VN in black, and I would imagine more are going to come in blue and different blade steels and finishes, so that should be fun. Alright guys, have yourself a fantastic week, and visit TikTok, visit Instagram, visit the site, and follow me on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, whatever you got to do. Just say hi. Love talking blades, and that's the most important part. Have a great week. See ya.